What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful here with a name you know, Shelton Benjamin, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, actually.
Oh, wow. I'm flattered. Thanks for having me here.
Well, you're not going to be flattered after my first question. I solicited questions from readers, and I got one from Mia Yim, who says, Shelton owes me $40. When do you plan on paying her back?
I owe her $40.
That's what she says.
I owe her $40.
She's never lied.
Oh no, she's never lied to me or Kofi or Damien or anyone who she's borrowed $20 from, has she? No.
But she claims that you owe her $40.
Oh.
Like reverse interest, maybe?
Reverse interest.
Yeah.
I don't remember taking out a mortgage with her, but yeah. You know what? I'll put it this way, Steph. You will get $40 worth of something at your wedding. See you in Disneyland.
So you suffered a pretty embarrassing loss to her on Up Down Down. How'd that happen? I mean, I remember hearing
Shenanigans.
I heard stories about you winning Madden tournaments year after year, or maybe it was 2K or WWE tournaments.
Yeah, it was WWE tournaments. They were wrestling video games. It was not Madden, so you got it.
Apologies.
Yeah. But what happened? There's a whole behind-the-scenes story behind this. See, she had gotten that game earlier. See, I never played it, so I think the show was rigged in her favor. But yeah. Anyway, let's talk about me.
Let's talk about you.
I'm sick of talking about Mia Yim. She's a liar. She's a horrible human being. I hate you. And like I said, Keith, I'll be at the annulment.
So. Over the years, some footage of like maybe your dark matches from or before you debuted in WWE have emerged, and it's just amazing to see how people change and they adjust from then. You're busting out 450 splashes. Has it ever crossed your mind to do that on TV, or was that nixed like before the debut? Why isn't that used anymore?
So real simple. The last time I did it, I basically got injured. I banged my elbow. And I actually had to have surgery on it. And that's pretty much why I took that out of the repertoire. And one of the things, and then going further, because there's a lot of stuff I used to do that I just stopped doing. And it was just simple. Believe it or not, this is advice that Brock gave me.
Who was also doing shooting star presses in those same matches.
Yes. So... And it was like a very good advice. It was like, there's stuff that even both of us did that, hey, if you can hit it 10 out of 10 times, do it. If you can do it 9 out of 10 times, never try to do it on TV.
That's interesting.
So it was just, I don't want to screw up on TV. It's just simple as that. There's stuff I can still do a lot of stuff. I just choose not to because, one, why?
Yeah.
And two, like I said, the margin for error is greater than I want to risk.
I think that was a piece of advice Christopher Daniels gave me in an interview once, too. He said he won't do anything in minute 2 that he couldn't do in minute 30 as well, just because like you never know. But I asked this of a lot of like high-level athletes like yourself. At what point in your life did you realize I can do something that most other humans can't do? Which, I mean, you're capable of so many things physically. Like, was there ever a light bulb moment where you're like, hey, I can do this stuff that I'm seeing on a cartoon, but most of my other friends can't?
So, when I first came to OVW, that was the first time that I guess the light started flickering. Because I would go in and when it came to pro wrestling, like, if you showed me a move, it was like, okay, I do it. It was just that simple. And like I said, my perception of pro wrestling was that these are the best of the best, So anything one guy can do it. Like everyone can do this, or everyone should be able to do this. And I did my WWE tryout with a guy named Andrew Bernardsky. Now, Andrew Bernardsky was he played Latimer in the movie The Program.
Okay.
I think he was like the mayor's son in one of the Batmans. He was Leatherface in the recent.
Oh, okay.
So I did my tryout with him, and my perception of him was based on I seen him on the movie The Program. I think he's this big, tough, football player, can, do anything. He's a great athlete. But then we started working. It was like, kind of, and at the time, and don't think I'm knocking the guy because he was a great guy, but he kind of moved around like Frankenstein to me.
Some people aren't cut out for wrestling,
right? In the ring, and so that was the first time like, that I didn't expect that. Then I got to OVW, and I started seeing it more and more. But it was more when I would see it with guys who kept trying. I'm like, how are you not able to do this? So that's when I started realizing, okay, I kind of got something. But what really kind of made me go, okay, so this isn't normal, was first Money in the Bank when I ran up the ladder.
Yes.
And everyone was like, whoa. And I was like, really? Like, I did this as a kid all the time. Like, you mean you guys can't do this? So that was the first time I was like, oh, okay, I got something special here.
And you'll hear Jericho say, like, there would be pitches for Rumble, or for not Rumble spots, Money in the Bank spots, and they're like, can we pull it off? And they're like, oh, yeah, Shelton can do it. Shelton can do anything. Were there any spots that you had heard of that were maybe nicks that they were like, maybe it was that 9 out of 10 thing where they didn't want to risk it? So never.
It was literally, I feel like Edge and Jericho were treating me like like they were controlling me on a video game. Hey, Shelton, can you do this?
Awesome.
Beep, hit a button and he does it. And that's basically what it was, because literally everything they came and asked me about, I was like, yeah. But in my head, I'm like, can't you? No clue.
Incredible.
So
as we film this, it's one day before the Royal Rumble. For a while, Shawn Michaels was your Rumble kryptonite. He was tossing you out every year. Did you notice the pattern at that point? Because you all had history by then.
Right. I really didn't notice it until the last year.
Yeah.
The third year. And I was like, the first time I was like, big deal. The second time, like, oh, Shawn's throwing me out again. But the third time, it's like, wait, again? Like, is someone playing a joke on me? Like, what? So, it's Shawn Michaels, but at the same time, like, again?
Yeah.
so I don't know what's that about. There's no history behind it. There's no story behind it. There was no.
He specifically said he had a competitive match with me 3 years in a row. I got to throw.
That's the best I can think of. So.
As we wrap up, I want to talk about that match. I think that's one of the best matches in Raw history. Yourself, Shawn Michaels, and going into that, you didn't know, like, on screen, like, fans didn't know who you were facing. The reaction happens, a great facial reaction and all that stuff. Then it was just magic. It was magic. What were your thoughts when you heard, I'm going to wrestle Shawn Michaels, and it's going to be this kind of match? And then what kind of reaction was there backstage? Like, did Vince say anything to you? Was he pleased?
So going into the match, when I was told I was working with Shawn, of course I was excited. Like, Shawn is he's a legend. He's Mr. WrestleMania. He's every bit as good as people say he is. So I was super excited to work with him. And at the time, I'm thinking, okay, this can do wonders for me, because now I get to go in there with arguably one of the best of all time, but now I get to go and show what I can do with him. And again, for me, it was just I wasn't nervous. Mm-hmm. You would think I would be. I wasn't nervous, but I was confident. I was, like, excited, because I'm like, this is the kind of stuff I was waiting on. These are the kind of matches that I live for, that I want. I want more of these. So I'm like, we're gonna knock this out of the park easily, like easily. So I'm like, there is nothing they can throw at me that I can't handle. There's nothing, from a performance standpoint. And at the time, like, I always felt like I was a rise to the occasion type of athlete. So if you put me in there with a headliner, we're going to make headlines. And so everything about that match, from start to finish, like, Shawn is a master storyteller. For me, it was super easy. Super easy because, one, I was following his lead. Like, he was leading the match. So that was super easy thanks to working with guys beforehand like Jericho and Eddie Guerrero, who, Eddie taught me so much in the ring on the fly. So working with Shawn, it was just like everything was just coming together perfectly. The finish was, bonkers. But
it felt like if you and Charlie were in the ring, you could have done your tag finish from a springboard. In that moment, I was like, it was amazing.
Oh, yeah, it was. I believe it was Michael Hayes who Well, again, he just asked me, "Hey, Shelton, do you think?" And it was like, "Yeah,
We always hear that he pitches like crazy stuff like
yeah,
that.
man." But to me, it wasn't even crazy. It was just,
Something.
it was just something. I'm like, and I remember, I when he asked me, could I do it, and I literally said, "Look, tell me where you need me to be, and I'll be there. Like, if you need me to be halfway across the ring or in the middle of the ring, like, if he can get his foot up, I can get to it."
Mm-hmm.
So, and and like I said, I didn't when he pitched it in my head. Again, I didn't realize what it was going to be when it finally happened.
Perfect.
Like I knew it would be, I knew it would get a good reaction, but I was not prepared for the reaction that it got. When we got to the back, yes, and we're talking standing ovation. Vince is happy. They're pulling me. Oh my God, you killed it out there! Like, and Michael, like, you just did something special, right? You're just like.
The JR and King call of it too was just perfect.
Oh, like I said, everything about that match is just 100% perfect. Yeah, magic. That's a perfect way to put it.
As we finish up, your former tag team partner Charlie Haas back in the ring. How you feel about that?
I love it. Charlie's in the ring. He's having fun. He's making a lot of noise, and having been by his side through a lot of his more recent, struggles and things like that. And to see him now where he is now and building on it, I couldn't be happier for him. And I know he said he hopes that one day we can tie it together. Of course, if that opportunity comes, yeah, that's my brother. He's my favorite partner. And he's one of the best friends. So, yeah, obviously, I love what Charlie's doing right now.
Shelton, I want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
Until next time, guys, we're out.
Ain't no stopping me now is what hackers are going to say to you if you're not using nordvpn.com/Fightful. You don't want that to happen. You do not want that to happen. When you're at the restaurant, you're at the hotel, you're at the airport, you're on that unsecured Wi-Fi. If you're not using nordvpn.com/Fightful, you're not protected. You're not safe. Phone, laptop, whatever. It just leaves it open. People just poking and prodding into your stuff. You don't want people to see what kind of weird stuff you're into, do you? NordVPN.com/Fightful protects that. Also, it allows you to access content from over 59 different countries on the fastest VPN in the world. Geo restrictions are not an issue anymore. Traveling and opening yourself up to all those issues of scary things. It's a scary world out there. Not with NordVPN.com/Fightful. And you get your money back if you don't like it for any reason. I can't believe it. Can you believe they're doing that? NordVPN.com/Fightful. Subscribe. Get a month free. It's a fantastic deal. A product I use every single day. NordVPN.com/Fightful.